Did you know that different attachment styles tend to actually bond through sex and intimacy in different ways and are completely impacted uniquely according to neuroscience? Well, in today's video, we're going to break exactly that down. What actually happens to the brain, the mind, the body of a dismissive avoidant individual in stages around sex and intimacy. And I hope that by having this understanding, you are not left with any question marks and you have the actual certainty that you need to know how to navigate a relationship of all forms in this way. Now, if you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Gibson. I'm the founder of Gibson Integrated Attachment Theory, the only proven method to leverage neuroplasticity to actually rewire your attachment style. And after about 14 years of working in private practice and through online programs at the Personal Development School, I'm here to share with you the most powerful insights for deep inner healing from your childhood, from painful past relationships, so that you can live your best life. So let's get into it. This is something that I get requests for all the time. People ask me so many questions about attachment styles and sex. I want to talk about specifically how these things affect dismissive avoidance. Dismissive avoidants have really big core wounds around intimacy. And those core wounds are things like vulnerability equals I am unsafe. If I'm too vulnerable, then I will be weak. If I'm too vulnerable and I am seen too much, somebody will come to know that I am defective. So all of those, I am weak, I am unsafe, I am defective, those are big core wounds for dismissive avoidance, and they play a massive role in sex. Dismissive avoidants also feel afraid of being trapped or helpless or pressured. Being pressured can really trigger some of these dynamics. And so something that often takes place for DAs in general is this subconscious. It's not something conscious. It's not premeditated, but this dynamic of when they start bonding with somebody and connecting with somebody, the more emotional intimacy is there, the more depth of connection is there over time, and especially the more time that passes. When DAs start to actually form like an attachment pairing or an attachment bond to somebody, they start to feel triggered and afraid. They start to literally feel like, oh my goodness, this dynamic is here. And those core wounds often get triggered. It's like, whoa, if I'm too vulnerable, all these bad things will happen. Where does this come from? This comes from their conditioning, right? Their subconscious programming in childhood. So when they are repeatedly vulnerable as children and they are repeatedly met with some form of emotional neglect, you see this dynamic of like dismissive avoidance, feeling the need to shut down, the need to pull away because of these things taking place. That's how they learn to cope. And so this is what will come online as a coping mechanism the moment they reattach at a deep level that mirrors the depth of attachment that they had with their caregivers in childhood. And of course, in our adult lives, that becomes our primary attachment figure relationships. I want to say as well, if you want to go into our course, it's all about learning your needs so that you can individuate, know who you are as a person, know what needs you have to get met to self-soothe, learn to communicate these needs in healthy ways. It's going to help you so much if you were struggling with this. You literally can keep this course for free for life. It's actually a giveaway right now. We're just doing this for a couple of days. You can click the link below. It gives you access to all of the Personal Development School for free for 7 days. And with that, you will get to keep our needs course for free as a bonus. I'm going to give a list of scenarios that can actually trigger these things for dismissive avoidance because there are many, and I've seen them a lot over the years with different individuals and different conversations I've had with clients in my practice. One of the big ones is when there's a lot of vulnerability around sex, like when there's a lot of actual intimacy, a lot of closeness, a lot of deep connection, a lot of like love or care, like when those feelings are really heightened and then that gets brought into sex, dismissive avoidance can literally have a huge shutdown after. And it's not because they didn't necessarily like enjoy the depth of connection in the experience, but because the next day they felt so vulnerable and it felt unsafe and scary. And so they'll often shut down to go into this like self-protection mode. Another big one is if there starts becoming pressure around sex. If sex starts changing in a relationship between two attachment styles and one person starts bringing it up, like we're not having sex enough, we're not sleeping together enough, and starts pressuring it, DAs will for sure feel trapped and pressured and all these things that cause them to feel like they need to push somebody away to maintain that freedom, to get rid of that feeling of pressure. And it can actually wreak havoc on the sex life with a dismissive avoidant, especially in a relationship. Another huge thing is if there's any kind of issue around sex, like if there's less sex or sex isn't going so well, or there's problems occurring during sex, we can see dismissive avoidants put a lot of pressure on themselves and feel like they're defective because it's that big core wound. And you'll see that this defectiveness core wound will cause them to feel all the shame that they're now associating emotionally with sex because their subconscious mind is an association making machine. If we start going into an experience as people that makes us feel ashamed, we learn to feel the emotion of shame when we think about that experience again. That's how the mind is working essentially. And so dismissive avoidants will start to think about having sex with somebody and they'll feel shame, or they'll feel fear, or they'll feel this need to shut down and protect themselves and stay safe because they're feeling unsafe. So you'll see these different dynamics that come about. Other like honorable mentions of situations that can come up is if they feel criticized about sex. Actually, that shouldn't be an honorable mention. That should be one of the top 4 in there as potential problems and challenges. It can really make them feel, again, defective, not good enough, which can be really painful. Sometimes as well, dismissive avoidants will start feeling like incapable of meeting their partner's needs. So if a partner keeps saying we should be having sex more often, or these different things are coming up, if a DA doesn't realize that their core wounds are triggered and that that's causing them to pull away, instead they might just go, well, I just have different needs sexually and I don't get it. And I'm not going to ever be able to meet this person's needs. And they can go into sort of this helplessness point of view, this feeling of being incapable. Again, they may shut down in this case or situation. Dismissive avoidance as well, in certain contexts, can start being really critical of themselves. They can really get into their own head around sex, especially if they feel like there's pressure or expectation, and it can really affect their ability to be present, to be in the moment, to enjoy sex, and it can really ruin the experience to a certain degree for DAs. So let me know what questions you have in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. And please subscribe if you're enjoying this channel. Thank you so much.